Welcome to episode 89 and the season 4 finale of the quest lore series Recipe for Disaster. To start this quest you must have completed Cook's Assistant, Goblin Diplomacy, Witch's House, Fishing Contest, Monkey Madness 1, Legends Quest, Nature Spirit, Murder Mystery, Gertrude's Cat, Big Chompy Bird Hunting, Shadow of the Storm, Horror from the Deep, and Desert Treasure 1. Remember the Cook's Assistant quest? Well, it turns out that it wasn't the Duke's birthday. In fact, the chef doesn't even know when it is. He actually just wanted to see whether he could trust you or not, and now knowing that he can, he needs your help once again. 100 years ago, his ancestor, Franizard van Lumcook, prepared a banquet which went down in history as one of the greatest meals the land had ever seen. Every 10 years since, the Lumbridge Secret Council members reunite for another meal, but this year the cook wants to recreate his ancestor's banquet. He asked you to get an eye of newt, a glass of Greensman's ale, a rotten tomato and a dirty blast, which is made by combining a fruit blast with some ashes. You are now invited to see the feast prepared in the dining room. Attending the feast are Osmond from Al-Kharid, the chief guard of the White Wolf Mountain Dwarves, Pirate Pete from Brain Deaf Island, the Goblin Generals from Goblin Village, Scratch Uglogwi from the Feldip Hills, Phileas the Lumbridge Guide, Evil Dave from Edgeville, Sir Amic Vaz, leader of the White Knights of Falador, and King Awawurge from Ape Atoll. The Duke and Osmond are taken away by some random events, and then you enter the room. Suddenly, the Culinary Mansa appears and attacks everyone with a magic spell. Gypsy Aris shows up in the nick of time to freeze everyone in the room except you and her. At the feast 100 years ago, the Culinary Mansa threatened to kill everyone in the Secret Council, only to be stopped by the Duke's assistant, who managed to trap him in another dimension. Today you accidentally helped the current cook create a powerful food magic which released the Culinary Mansa from his prison. The time freeze spell is limited to this room, and outside of it the council members have already been saved. Your quest is to save them in this room. To do so, each member of the council must be fed their favourite food to counteract the Culinary Mansa's magic. Firstly, the Mountain Dwarf. His father won't tell you his son's favourite recipe. In Falador, for 200 coins, the barmaid in the Rising Sun Inn tells you the secret recipe for an Asgardian ale, which is an Asgardian ale with a coin dropped in it. Speaking with the Mountain Dwarf's father again, you hand him multiple Asgardian ales, making him drunk and friendly. For 100 coins, a bucket of milk, an egg, a pot of flour, and a bowl of water, he bakes a dwarven rock cake. Wielding the ice gloves, you pick up the molten hot rock cake, cooling it down, and then use it on the Mountain Dwarf, freeing him from the Culinary Mansa's spell. Secondly, the Goblin Generals. Underneath the Goblin Village, the chef Mudknuckles is experimenting with a new recipe which he overheard two dwarves talking about. He needs some charcoal, which you hand to him, although the experiment's result is explosive. He calls it fast food for how quickly it goes from raw to burnt. The General's favourite dish is made from orange slices that aren't the colour orange, fish bait, and soggy bread. Mudknuckles makes the slop of compromise, which you use on the Generals to free them. Thirdly, Pirate Pete. The chef finds a recipe for fish cakes. Speaking with Murphy in Port Khazud, you hand him a fishbowl and he makes a diving apparatus. You go out to sea and dive into the water. Here you pick up some kelp and then speak with a mogre named Nung, who wants you to get him 5 Mudskipper hides. You pick up 5 rocks and enter the Mudskipper cave, killing 5 of them, and then take the hides to Nung. You also hand him a needle and 3 bronze wires to make clothing from the hides. Now you have access to the giant crabs, which you kill for their meat. This is grinded with a pestle and mortar, as is the cod and the kelp, and with a knife you make some breadcrumbs. The chef finds out that the recipe is just putting them all together. You bake the fish cake, and Pirate Pete is freed. Fourthly, the Lumbridge Guide. Wizard Trayborn needs to enchant the basic cake ingredients with knowledge, so you solve 3 quizzes. Then you bake them together just like a normal cake, and the Lumbridge Guide is freed. Fifthly, Evil Dave. To make the perfect stew, the right balance of spices needs to be found. In the Edgeville basement where he lives, you hunt the hell rats to collect the spices. Testing each spice level one by one, you find his ideal balance, which you put together in a perfect stew to free him. Sixthly, Scratch Uglogwi. You meet Rance near the water and he kicks down a tree for you to make a boat. He then fires an arrow towards Karamja. You go there and cook a chompy on an iron spit. Rance's children follow the scent and take you back on the boat you made. After this seemingly pointless endeavour, Rance now tells you how to catch jubblies, the favourite food of the ogre chief. Catching some toads by inflating them with swamp gas and mining some rocks, you balloon the toads even further, attaching the rock with a ball of wool to add weight. In a similar fashion to hunting chompies, a jubbly appears and you kill it with the ogre bow and arrows. Cooking it on the spit makes a lovely jubbly, scratch Uglogwi's favourite meal, and he is freed from the spell. Seventhly, Sir Amic Vase. The chef reminds you of your impressive feat making the Creme Brulee supreme. The wise old man tells you about the evil chicken and directs you to the land of the fairies to find its lair. In the Karazi jungle, you pick up a vanilla pod from the plants near the coastline. Cream is added to a bucket of milk, then a pot of corn flour, and now the vanilla pod. On Entrana, a Draymond branch is grinded into cinnamon. Now, in Zenaris, you use a raw chicken on the chicken shrine to enter it. Running past black dragons, you fight the evil chicken and pick up its egg, which is added to the mix, and the cinnamon is added too. Then, a black dragon is killed to receive a dragon token. You then equip some ice gloves and rub the token, creating a dream state where Kuklik, one of the last fairy dragons, appears and flambés the brulee to cook it, making the Creme Brulee supreme, which frees Sir Amic Vase. Eighthly, and lastly, King Awawoge. You buy some monkey talismans and retrieve the bones of a ninja monkey, a gorilla, and a zombie monkey. With these items, Zooknok makes the gorilla, ninja monkey, and zombie monkey gree-grees. King Awawoge won't tell you his favourite recipe. The three monkeys in the temple happen to know what it is: roasted giant snake, stuffed with sliced banana and monkey nut paste. Although normal monkey nuts and regular bananas won't do. There's a red banana tree on the western side of Ape Atoll. Turning into a gorilla gives you the strength to pull the tree with a rope to obtain the red banana, which you slice. Snake corpses are obtained in the pit on Crash Island, and after completing the obstacle course as a ninja monkey, the cheeky monkey nuts are found on a bush inside a cave. These are grinded and the ingredients are combined together. Underneath the temple, through a crevice, you walk over hot coals as a zombie monkey and find a long rock where you can cook the stuffed snakes. Using this on King Awawoge frees him, and he teaches you the Ape Atoll teleport spell. Finally, after saving every member of the Secret Council, time proceeds with a spell, and the Culinary Mansa retreats back to his own dimension. Gypsy Aris tells you to go after him and finish him off once and for all. Prayers can't be used in this dimension, and you defeat various food bosses to weaken the Culinary Mansa. These bosses take the form of various foes you've defeated in previous quests. In the final showdown, the Culinary Mansa is defeated, bloating him into an explosion of food. Completing this quest unlocks the Barrow's Gloves. Thank you very much for watching Season 4 of the Questlore series. Join me next time in Season 5, where I'll explain the lore behind Mountain Dwarf.